Welcome back to the channel. If you're addicted to apples, you've come to the right place. Hi, my name is Nick. From time to time I do purchase some items that I have to use for my business or possibly for my personal collection. Here's such a box. Let's open up and have a look, see what's inside. Alright, let's have a look inside this box. Not too good with a knife at the moment. I have some power supplies of some kind. 1, 2, 3. There they are. 2009, 2010 and 2012 Mac Pro A1289. Let's test them. So as you can see, we've actually got 1, 2, 3 power supplies. We're going to test them in this Mac Pro with a working power supply, as you can see in the background there. So we know that this particular power supply is working okay, and we're going to test it with 1, 2, 3 power supplies. So we've laid the Mac Pro 2010 flat so we can pull out the power supply, as I'm going to be testing the other 3 power supplies that I got in, and I'll be showing you how to do that today. So there's a few tools that we require, not a great deal. First, what we've got to do is undo the latch. I know we've taken the side off, but that's the only way you can get that out, which is the super drive tray. So let's just try that. You have to wiggle it a little bit, left and right. Undo the super drive, a little bit dusty. So we have to pull out that particular plate there to undo the power supply from the main logic board. So we can either use a standard Phillips screwdriver, or as I like to use, my impact driver or some sort of screwing along a little bit. Two screws, Phillips head. So I'll unscrew the plate here, the PCI plate. I'm just going to remove this USB 2 card here, just to make life a little bit easier for it. So that's the USB 2 card. So we're going to make life a little bit easier. We're going to pull out the graphics card. So all we have to do is push this little button here to push back the little holder that holds the PCI little connector on the graphics card. Just wiggle it out. We'll just leave it connected there. So there are 4 T10 screws or Allen key screws that hold in the power supply. Here's the diagram that will show you the 4 different screws, and what I like to do is actually use this little flexible tool that I've got from one of my screwdriver kits a long time ago. I've got a T10 bit on the end, and I put it into my little driver, impact driver. So I just locate where they are, where the 4 screws are, and just flex it, and then hold on to this bit here so it doesn't flick onto the main board, onto the back board. The first one and just undo. Nice and easy. Screw number one. Screw number two. Now these bottom ones are a little bit tricky because they do go on a little bit of an angle. Screw number three. And screw number four. That's how I do it. Some people remove this completely, the whole cage, because their tool is not long enough to undo it. I've done that once before a long time ago, but I found out this method and it's easiest for me. Remove this plate. The plate should have been removed with the screws. So what we've got to do is undo the power supply from the main logic board, otherwise we won't be able to get it out. Two little clips here. Just hold these back, wiggle it a little bit like this, and it comes straight out. All you got to do then, just move this slightly out of the way, just push in your finger into the back socket, so it clears this little area here. I'll lift that up there with the socket, lift it up until I get my fingers underneath here. And you see that cable comes out from that little recess, little hidden compartment there. And that's the power supply removed. We'll give that a good dusting with a blower. That's for the customer. As you can see there, it's a DBS980BB. That's the power supply number. Or part number there, 614-0454. That is the same part number, DPS-980BB. So that's the model of this particular Delta Electronics power supply. The Apple part number, it says 614-0454. That's the part number, the manufacturing part number, not the official Apple part number. Alright, so what we're going to do is slot it in here. Past that little bracket thing through that hole behind the fan there, and you see it comes out on this side. Push it down, then you've got to push it right across so you can see the power supply socket there. So what we're going to do is pop that back into the logic board. We've got to make sure these two clips actually clip into place. So just push firmly like that on both sides. And it's as simple as that. We don't have to put the super drive back in. Slide in the graphics card. It's as simple as that. So just hold this down whilst plugging it in. Plug in the graphics card and turn it on. As you can hear the startup time. Works fine. So I won't give it a thorough test right now. I'll just shut it down. That's it for power supply number one. Power supply number two. Same part number, DPS-980BB, 614-0454. That's working okay as well. All working okay. Shut this one down. All good. Try the next one. Okay, on to the third power supply, last one. Same power supply, DPS 980BB 6140454. Starts okay. To the desktop. That's fine. Shut down. Now we'll screw it all back together. This is the tricky part. First we'll pull out the graphics card, slide this back again, wiggle it out, the rear comes out a little bit first, and then it comes out at an angle. So I'm just placing that there for now. Now this bit here with the 4 holes is the trickiest part of the whole reinstallation, okay? Because this thing could be out a little bit and they won't screw back in its spot. So what we have to do is feel each screw in each hole. So basically put the first one in the first hole, which is the top one here, top left, and just slightly tap it in. So that's just a little bit in place. Do the same for the bottom. So I just like to pop this into place down here in the screw hole and just gently just send that go in a little bit. I won't screw it in all the way until I get all 4 screws in. So pop that onto the end whilst holding it. Pop it in the hole and just gently squeeze. Just a few turns is all we require. This is one of the hard ones. It's just got to be straight. Now I have to try and hold it because this springs back quite a bit. The last ones, the bottom ones are the hardest ones to screw in always. So just gently do it. That's it. It's in place. So with this plate, we have to pop the 2 screws in that hole. This cable has to feed up through here. Okay, as you can see there, it's a little bit tricky, but down the bottom there, it actually rests on those 2 little tabs, and as I push it down, it'll actually go into place. And you can see the screw hole there. So those tabs should go into the place down the bottom there. If they don't, it won't line up. This slides slightly, and then it's going to screw in those 2 screws there. I've got this little magnet on the end here, and that usually holds the screw in place. Doesn't always. Some screws can be really stubborn. Okay, but that sits in place there. It does come off though. So this magnet actually came off the bezel of a 20 or 24 inch iMac 2007-2008. If you've got one of those lying about, that's where the magnet comes from. Very handy. I do lose them though. Next is a super drive. So these cables, there are some slots here that it slots into. It's a little bit dusty in there. And those tabs line up with these ones here. You'll get the feel of it anyway. And this top SATA cable goes into, or the long one goes into the top one. It's as simple as that. Graphics card goes back in. Slight angle here. That goes into the guide rail. Quick test. All okay. Working fine. That's how you test and replace power supplies on a 2009, 2010 or 2012 Mac Pro A1289. Thanks very much. Thanks for watching.